Email. How many of you have got a bulging inbox with hundreds, if not thousands of emails sitting in there? I bet you've got emails in that inbox that you remark as unread because you know you need to come back to them later on and take some action, but you don't want to lose them amongst the pile. Every day, multiple times a day, you scroll up and down your inbox looking at those emails and they trigger anxiety every time you see one that you haven't taken any action on yet. Or you might be sat watching this feeling pretty smug with yourself because you keep your emails organised in little subfolders in your inbox, one for each person in your team, all 35 of them. Every day you go through your inbox and drag each one of your emails into those folders. What if I told you there was another way to automatically file your emails, create tasks and even meetings from those emails right within Outlook, and even reach the holy grail of Inbox Zero? Let me show you how in this month's Tuesday Tech Tip. A few years ago, I purchased a book that changed the way I work and got me for the first time ever to Inbox Zero. Not only that, it helped me to focus on the really important tasks and cut through the smokescreen of information overload. The book's called Smart Work by Dermot Crowley, and I highly recommend it. In the book, he talks about your email inbox being just like your letterbox at home. Every day, letters are posted through, but you don't just leave them there to pile up on the doormat. You do something with them. Well, it's just the same with your email. You need to do something with them. We're either going to delete them, file them, save them to read later, or take action on them. And with Outlook's Quick Step feature, you can process your emails in next to no time. Here's how we do it.
Okay, so you need to open up the desktop version of Outlook. The tricks I'm going to show you in this video won't work with the web version of Outlook, and it won't work with the Mac version of Outlook. It's only the desktop PC version that we'll be able to use for the tricks I'm going to show you. So once you've got it open, you've got your inbox with your emails sitting in there. And like we said before, your inbox is like your letterbox at home. You wouldn't just leave your letters piling up on the doorstep. You're going to do something with those emails. You're either going to delete them, file them for later, file them to read, or take some other kind of action on them. So first off, we need somewhere to put these emails. They need somewhere to live. So to do that, we go over to the inbox, we right click and we create a new folder. And the first one we're going to call filing. And then we're going to do it again, right click, and we're going to create a new folder and we call it reading. And really, they're the only two folders that you need. I know that some of you will have folders all the way down the side here with different people's names or different projects that you're working on that you drop your emails into. Don't worry about this for now. We're going to come on to that later. But this is the way we're going to get you to Inbox Zero. Okay, so now we've got the folders in there. You could click and drag them in. So we've got some things from the test that I would like to read later. We've got an EdSurge newsletter. And we've got emails from different people. They're all from me because they've sent to myself, but we've got different projects in there. So instead of just taking them and dragging them into the reading folder, which will take ages, especially if you've got, 1,000 unread emails, what you can do instead is use this Quick Step tool here. So Quick Steps help you to automate some of the tasks that you would do by hand. So what we're going to do straight away is create new. And the first one we're going to do is we're going to call it filing. And this is where all of the emails that we want to drop into this filing folder, we can just click a button to do that. So we call it filing, and the action that we want is for it to move to a folder. And the folder that we want it to move to is filing. And we can click finish. Then we're going to create another quick step. So again, we create new. And this one is reading. And again, we're going to move it to a specific folder, and the folder is reading. And then we click finish. So I'm going to show you that in action to start with. So the test emails that we get, I want to save to reading. So what I do now, instead of clicking it and dragging it and dropping it into reading like this, I select the email and I can just click the reading button there and it will file it straight into reading. And the EdSurge can go into reading, and the tests and the EdSurge, and I'm just keep clicking it and it sends it straight into there. Now when it gets to this one, this is kind of like some updates to tests and things. I'm just going to delete those ones. I'm not really interested in that. So I click delete, and then EdSurge can go back into reading. So if I've got an email that I need to do something with later, or I want to come back to again, there's something that I need to refer to that I need to keep filed, then I want to put that into my filing folder. So here I've got Mark Dixon, an email from myself to myself, and I can just click the filing button. And now that will go into the file. I'll do that one with that one as well. So if you look here in the filing folder, you can see those 2 emails that I've put in. And if we go into reading, we've got the emails that I've put in there to read later. And I've got the ones that are unread, so I know they're the ones that I want to go to probably first. So we go back to our inbox. Now, so that's 2 ways that we can file our emails straight away. We can put them into filing and we can put them into reading. But to take it to the next level, we now need to create some actions that we can do with those emails. So you might get an email in that you need to then create a meeting from, or some tasks. So if we take this email here, mark next steps, could you get back to me by Friday with the following information? So that could be a typical email that you would get. So really this wants to be a calendar event. So what we do now is we go to create new. We're going to call this file and calendar. So what we want the email to do is automatically go into our filing, but also set up a calendar event, so a meeting or something like that. So we go to choose an action, and this time we scroll down and we choose create an appointment with the text of the message. So we're going to click that. And then we're going to add another action, and the other action is to move it to filing. So what's going to happen is we're going to click the button. It's going to put the email into our filing, so we can always find the email later, but it's also going to create a calendar event, and it's going to use the text of the body of the email within that calendar event. So we can click finish there, and I'll show you it in action. So now we've got this button here, we've got filing calendar, we've got filing over here, reading, filing calendar. So we just click the filing calendar, and bang, that email has now gone into our filing, and we've got here the meeting request or an appointment. So the subject is next steps because that was the subject of the email. We've got a location. It gives us the information that was within that email. So you're not going to lose any of that information. You don't have to try and find the email, paste it in, or when it comes time to for the actual appointment, you've got all the information ready for it. So what we would then need to do in here is to add the date. So we want it's by Friday. So let's say Thursday we'll make the deadline, and we're going to do it for 8 o'clock in the morning. And there we go. We can save and close. So now the email's been saved into our filing. If we go into here, we've got the email here, so we're never going to lose that. And we've created our calendar event just here. So that's great. Now your last quick step that we're going to set up is to create a task. So we've got an email that we want to take some quick action on, and it's not something that's going to be set to a deadline maybe, which would be more useful as a calendar event. So this time we're going to go to create new. This time it's going to be file and task. Choose the action. So we'll move to folder first of all, because we know we want it to go to the filing folder. Then we'll create another action, use a drop down, and we're going to create a task. And we can create a task with an attachment or create a task with the text of the message. And I'm going to go for the text of the message in this instance. I can always find the email later when I need to anyway. So create a task with the text of a message. So it's going to file, it's going to create the task. We can click finish there. And this time, I want to take some action on this email here. So I click the file and task, quick step. Straight away, it's gone into my filing, which is good. So it's safe. It's got the text there. So update project 3. So this might actually be tasks for project 3. I can decide when I'm going to do it. So instead of creating a due date, instead of just working on a deadline when it's due, we tend to leave these things until the end, until they become really, really urgent. Instead of leaving them until they get urgent, it's better to actually plan your time around when you're going to start these tasks, not when they're due to be finished. So I'm going to start this task today. So it's going to start today. It's the due date I'm not worried about. And then I can add here some of the details. So start with task 2, get feedback before starting task 3. Okay, and that'll do for that. So we can save and close there. Brilliant. So if I go back into my filing again, you can see I've got the project email that we've just created. And if I go into my tasks, I've got a task for today that we've just put in with the body of the email, so I know what it's relating to as well, which makes it really useful. So there you go. That's how to use your Outlook more effectively to keep yourself organised. And I'll see you next month for another Tuesday Tech Tip.